tell Rittenhouse 3 to stalk through the...
It's a blatant lie.
Yes, yeah.
Injustice. This was worse than the Emmett Till trial.
That they can engage in white...
Worse than the Emmett Till trial. That's the president and CEO of the NAACP saying that this was worse than Emmett Till. Emmett Till was a 14-year-old who whistled at a white woman in Mississippi back in the 50s. He was tortured and murdered. And no one was found guilty of the crime in this case.
Which was obviously an incredible injustice.
Yes.
And he's saying Kyle Rittenhouse being found innocent is worse than that. You should be fired.
Oh, yeah.
How many people could say, you know what, we want that guy leading the NAACP? You're out of your mind, dude.
Can engage in white vigilantism and be let off for it, be defended and protected.
What is vigilantism?
Taking the law into your own hands.
He didn't break a law.
And he was tried in a court of law. He wasn't tried with a court of 6 guys in a barn.
I keep seeing vigilante individuals. Murderous white supremacists.
Yeah.
There's no proof of that at all.
One of my favorite supplements is quinoa.
Sued for that.
Unlike regular turmeric supplements, quinoa's superior absorption helps me get the full benefits of turmeric. The brand I trust is quinoa.
You're Jonathan, right? The 995 plan.
Yes.
Wonder why the heck I was on megahertz.
995 plan fits my budget just right.
Excuse me.
I thought I was on kilohertz.
Jonathan from TV, that 995 plan? Yes, from Colonial Penn. I love your lifetime rate lock. That sold me. She thinks you.
So I have 15.73.
Are you? Yes, from Colonial Penn.
We were concerned we couldn't get
You
coverage.
have no credibility at all. That is the Reverend Al Sharpton. I saw him saying that now you have a right to go to protest and kill people. Right. No, you don't. No, that's very much a crime. That would be murder if you showed up at a protest and shot and killed people.
If you're age 50 to 85.
Okay.
We have nothing in place legally. We have nothing in place culturally.
We turn down for any.
It still has horizontal sensitivity, I'll call it. It's irritable. I can have it on for 3 hours and there won't be a problem.
I heard some of this myself.
No problem.
Like, this is crazy to me. Because I remember in Minneapolis, there were
I have the brightness down here.
store owners that said, you know what, we're not going to have this. We've got to arm ourselves. And they did. And they protected their store. They did it in Los Angeles, too. And so I looked at
Adjusted the vertical height and linearity. I didn't put it on my, I didn't hook it up to this thing. Just looking from a picture. But I'm gonna put it away now, I believe. I have other projects to get on to. I adjusted the ion trap. I got it brighter and in better focus. This thing here has some scratches on it. It's plastic. Oh, I thought I screwed it up. Pull back on brightness here.
I don't remember people having a big problem with that. Do you?
No. There was another.
I'm pulled back on contrast, so I have to pull back on brightness.
Which I believe, where it was two black people holding rifles, and they were walking around protesters. They were there to protect protesters. And
I'll put the knobs on.
every conservative in America is against this.
I got the resistors rearranged up here
Nobody freaking out about that. If you're worried for your safety, then
to try to keep it away from the picture tube. Keep the wiring away from the resistors. The wire wound resistors up there. I disconnected the switch completely here.
That was protecting his business with customer friends of his that came out who were also
Okay, because I decided I don't want AC voltage going through a blown up switch that could have carbon in there. And then the other side is hooked up to the cathode in a not so much way to turn the brightness up, the control grid. and I don't want that AC traveling across and interfering and destroying the picture tube. So I decided to just eliminate it. Most of my items I unplugged from the wall anyways, because I don't trust those switches. I gotta put my knobs on. I have the speaker hooked up. It doesn't have a lot of volume. This capacitor here was out of my pilot TV across the AC, and it blew up. I knew what it was when it blew up. I knew instantly. I thought, shit, I forgot to remove that capacitor. It was hidden underneath the on-off switch. So here we are here. There we are on kilohertz. It's supposed to be 7 something.
Logan, I see no reason whatever. We can't buy the milk from them for the next few days.
Good idea,
I put the contrast up more.
I'll do that.
I've got something to say about this fix we're in.
So, this is November 22nd, 2021. I cannot figure out. Here's where I'm connected. So it's saying 15, so what does that mean? I gotta learn more about the frequencies. I'm hooked on this side, it's easier to grab. This is a very hard grab, so I'm on this side. But I can't figure out how the horizontal started working. The only thing I can come up with is when I was doing the electrolytics. Electrolytics is I got this a 20 microfarad right there, just one right now. I had 2 paired together. I just have one because it'll be too close to that resistor. So the only thing I can come up with, this resistor apparently failed because it measured open wire wound. The only thing I can come up with is I had electrolytic somehow hooked up here, but I think it's impossible. Because the electrolytic had a wire that ran down around the frame and hooked up to this spot. And that wire was broken loose. Whether I disconnected it for cleaning and it got hit on me and I didn't remember to put it back on, but it looked like it was cut. Well, I actually didn't examine if it was broken off from being moved around too much. I should have looked at it, but it was not here. It was just bent around on the circuit board like it was connected to something. So there was no capacitor here. That capacitor here, the wire wandered away up to that connection strip that I put on, and this capacitor wasn't hooked to nothing. So if this was my problem for my horizontal issues, I don't know, because I know there was a big voltage. This is supposed to be 140, and I think it measured around 100. So that voltage difference could probably interrupt the horizontal oscillator, because that's I didn't adjust none of this stuff. I should adjust, go through the procedure, and put a jumper across here and adjust this trimmer to get 0 volts here. I should. And then you take the jumper off and adjust this again to stabilize it. Well, this is at 12 o'clock. I should do that. That's the only thing I can come up with. So I have like a 600. A 600 and some ohms there instead. It's the best I can come up with at 10 watts. So I got sound. Actually, I'll make my tube run cooler maybe. That sucker gets hot. That and this one and the damper tube. I don't know why this thing's out of focus all the time. So I have this connected. Not that it's going to do anything. If I unplug it from the wall, if it's going to develop that spot, it's going to develop that spot. Unless if I flick this to full brightness and then unplug it. I can't measure this. I'm assuming it's close or whatever. I never even measured the B+, but this here thing is boost voltage, has that 15K I replaced. This one I don't have. So I'll try to get probably a 5-watt wire wound or carbon if it's 330K at a 1 watt. So, and then here it has 120 volts here. I replaced that. I think I replaced that one. So, but I had it working, going quite a bit. So, I would like to tackle this, but I want to get onto my radio here. I tend to want to do everything at once. I have my Pilot TV has a issue. I don't know on that one if it could be heater to cathode leakage in the picture tube because it's got a weird thing climbing up the side. Really weird looking, like it's real bad electrolytics, but they've been all replaced. So again, on the horizontal oscillator being off frequency, the only thing I could come up with is this capacitor was not connected because the wire was broken. I did not know it. And the red wire was face down on the circuit board, so it looked like it was connected to something. I just happened to be wiggling it around and it came loose. So there was no filter capacitor here, and that's put a lot of AC there, I suppose. So this thing was wiping out a lot of AC, and I virtually probably had very little B+. I know this was only 100 volts, so that must have been my problem. And then when this thing went out, the only reason I investigated it was when I had no sound. And then I start hooking my scope up to the diode, and I see the halfway rectifier with no filtering. And then I started to investigate stuff, and I stumbled onto this was opened. But then after being removed, it seems to test good, so I don't know. A wire wound resistor, I look at it's either good or bad, but I suppose if you put a load on it, it may burn up. I should try it. Put some kind of a 12-volt load on it or something. 6 volts or something, and see what happens. See if it opens it up more. So that's it on this one. It's a lot of parts. Boy, I replaced all these resistors, probably 80% of them, and all the waxies, all the black uprights, all those things. So I have to probably do this and probably the vertical one. These aren't too bad to do. They're pretty easy. I did one in my the hell is it? My Zenith TV, which has vertical collapse right now. This one here has vertical collapse. I put a bunch of very low, inexpensive Chinese capacitors in it, so I have to pull them out. And I put one plate capacitor, ceramic capacitor in from the 1970s. It could be that also. So that's, I'm gonna get right onto this thing. This thing's having focusing problems. I don't know why. Wow. So this is it. It works pretty decent. I had it on for about 4 or 5 hours, 2 nights in a row, so.
Now this is our very latest sports model. What do you think of that? Look at the trout. Oh, that's very nice. Certainly, the plaid is good. Goes good with the trousers, yeah. I'll stick the blue off and we'll skip it there.
Pardon me.
So it's November 22nd, 2021, Orange Beginner's Corner. The last waltz here. This thing only gets 2 channels. I put a 1 meg resistor in it on the 6H6 tube. It measured, I think, 4.3 meg. I replaced it, and I took it out. It measured 1 meg, but it worked after that. So apparently it was bad connection. But somebody replaced all the capacitors, put a bunch of yellow jackets in it. So I have to go through. I think it's either silver mica disease in that one. This one feeds the control grid, and this one. Wait a minute. Yeah, this is from. This is the oscillator. This is oh, this is on. Tubes are hot. I have it on standby. This one here is the RF. This one is first IF, second IF. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Convert oscillator, RF, first IF, second IF. Then the 6H6. Then this thing, the first audio amp, preamp, and audio amp one further, and this is also the BFO, but I don't know what BFO is. So this one is from this plate to that grid, then this plate to this one, to that, and then to that, and to that. So it may have silver mica disease either in that one or that one. When I disconnect this tube, the plate voltage is, say, 250. I don't really know. It could be 275. It could be 325. I don't know. But when I put the tube in, then it exceeds my meter. So I think this tube is oscillating. It just must send out a frequency that my multimeter or digital meter don't like. I didn't hook it up to my VTVM. So this project will be next. It only picks up 2 AM channels. That's it. You can go on some of the other, find the ham spots and look for 20 meters, 15 or whatever on the dial, and it really does nothing. It might sometimes make a little.
Games from the Minnesota Lottery. They're fun.
Some frequencies you can hear a little bit of noise when you tune, but when you tune this one over here, you go on like. The heck's the selector here? This. So if you go on like a meters here.
Right there.
If I go on like, I don't see none of the markers, but
Drinking. 2.24
Well, I don't see no markers right now.
pandemic began.
Where are they? I'll find one. Back on. I think I forgot how to use this thing. So I got 3.5 here. So I will tune that to here. And that one is what? It's hard to see. First one, second one, the third one up. No, second one up. Second one up, I think. Number 2. Number 2. So I go by this, 3.5, 3.5 here. So 3.5 here. So apparently I'm on 80 meters. I think that's the way it works. I'm not sure. And I know you're supposed to take this automatic gain control out, but I can't. I just have about I don't know, maybe a 10-foot piece of wire hooked up to it. If I go to shut off the automatic volume control, it'll do this. Well, I'll be damned. It used to just oscillate. Well, and it's not working. This is it. Signing off.